I first started playing video games when I was about 7 years old. My friend introduced me to this game called Combat Arms, which is also a first-person shooter, and I got hooked onto it. I started playing that for hours and hours on end, and my parents were really against it at the start because they expected me to have a really closeted life, playing and studying all the time, and just focusing on studying and passing school. But I started not listening to them and playing a lot more games than I should have. But ever since I hit college, I started playing a lot more on my own, put a lot more time into my games, and I improved a lot more. When I first started playing CSGO, my rank was not that great. I actually started near the bottom, but it quickly became one of my favorite games. So I started trying to climb up the ranks and grinding the game, putting a ton of hours into it as much as I could whenever I had time. And I rapidly saw success in how I was playing, and I kept going up the ranks until I finally realized that playing regular matchmaking in CSGO was not enough for me. I had to play with an external program called ESEA, which ranks players based off their skill and teamwork instead of just their skill. And after I started playing some ESEA, the SJSU team actually found me on ESEA, and they were like, "Kevin, let's give you a tryout. You look pretty promising. We'd love to give you a try." So I tried out for them, and that went really well at the start. I played really well, and they wanted to pick me up immediately. Our 2016 season was the season that I got picked up in, and we ended up winning this season in CSL. And we won a grand prize of $30,000, which was split up between 6 players, the 5 players and 1 manager. And we actually had to fly all the way down to Texas to compete in this tournament because the other team, Lowball Gaming, came from Canada. So we flew all the way down to Texas to play 1 game for $30,000. And for me, that was insane. I never pictured myself to actually be in this situation. When I first started playing games, I wanted it to be casual, and I just got more into it, and somehow I ended up playing for money, which is crazy to me. It's a bunch of my friends' dreams, and I can't believe I've gotten to this point. And I'm actually very proud of our SJSU CSGO team for grinding all the way through the ranks, beating every team, and just demolishing everyone. It felt so good winning the tournament. The starting of the Overwatch team was actually all by coincidence. I went to a local Overwatch tournament at AFK Gamer Lounge in downtown with another team based off people I found off the internet, and just funnily enough, another player from SJSU also went to that tournament, and we played against him in the finals, and unfortunately we lost. But he came up to me after the tournament and he asked me what college I go to, and I replied SJSU. He's like, "Wow, we should really start a team together," and we formed a team based off that, and we started trying out players, and we eventually formed a team off that, and we now compete in this league called TESPA Overwatch, which actually has a prize pool of $100,000. And our team's doing pretty well right now. We're not the best, but we're competing with top tier teams, and we're going to keep grinding and hopefully get that #1 spot. So people have asked me all the time, how do I myself get into collegiate sports like you do? And my answer to that is that collegiate sports eSports isn't as easy as you think. It takes a lot of time practicing with your team, and it takes a ton of time management. I actually started seeing my grades drop because I put too much time practicing with my team, and I couldn't get that time management between homework and playing to practice at a good rate. So I had to take a break and reassess my situation, that I was actually in school to study and not to play games. My other advice I would give to people is to be self-aware of how good you are at the game, because they take the top players from each school, and obviously they're there to compete. Is there anything else I have to say? Well, I'd like to give a shout out to SJSU CSGO sponsored Snipe Gaming, which has helped us a lot throughout our whole season. And SJSU itself, they have funded us for travel, they've funded us for gaming, and just putting us in these tournaments. And I'd also like to give out a shout out to my family for actually finally letting me play games that I love, that I like to.